Hey there, Carl Newman here for you at Sport Fishing Buddy. And in this video I'm going to show you how to tie two fishing lines together with the double uni knot. Now this knot is very important because it's very common that you need to tie two fishing lines together, and the knot needs to be strong enough so that you don't lose any big fish. And the most common reasons for tying two fishing lines together is if you're using a leader, such as a fluorocarbon or monofilament leader with a braid mainline. So your knot needs to be strong enough so that you don't lose fish, and it also needs to be small enough so it can move through the eyes of your rod without getting stuck. And it needs to be relatively easy to tie. So the double uni knot fulfills all of those conditions, and so it's one of the best ways to attach two fishing lines to each other. And I'm going to show you how to tie the double uni knot. I'm going to use these two strings here because it's much easier to see exactly what I'm doing. So for the purposes of demonstration, I'll use those thick pieces of string. And then afterwards, I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can use the double uni knot and what different kinds of applications it's good for. Okay, let's dive right in. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of the lines down, and I'm going to form a loop with the other line. So now I formed a loop with the black line, like this, very simple loop. I'm going to take that loop, I'm going to hold it up against the white line, like that. Now I'm going to start wrapping this tag end around the white line and passing it through the loop at the same time. I'm going to do that 3 times. If your line is thinner, then you can do this more often, and more often is better, so more loops are better. In this case, I'm using very thick line for demonstration purposes, so I'm only doing it 3 times. Once you've done your loops, then it's time to tighten the first knot. And you do that by pulling on the main line and by pulling on the tag end very gently until it forms this little barrel. That little barrel is the first uni knot. Now I haven't tightened it all the way, and that allows me to pull the white line through it quite easily. I'm going to do that so I have more line to work with. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. I'm forming this loop here with the white line. I'm going to take the tag end and I'm going to pass it through the loop, and at the same time wrap it around the black line. I'm going to do that 3 times. Again, if your line is thinner, you should do it more often. But I'm just doing 3 times for the purpose of demonstration. Okay, so now I'm done wrapping it. I'm going to start tightening the knot. And again, you need to do this very gently, pulling on both ends without the knot coming apart. You want to get this tidy barrel that's sitting on top of the other line, like this. So here is the second barrel, which is the second uni knot. And now I've got 2 uni knots like that. One here and one here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull both lines and slide them down towards each other. So now I have the 2 uni knots sitting on top of each other like this. I'm going to tighten all of the ends, pull on the tag ends, and pull on the main line. And now this knot becomes very strong. It's one of the strongest knots to hold 2 lines together. And at this point, you would trim off the tag ends like this. And now you're done. This is a double uni knot. Okay, so that's how you tie a double uni knot. And an additional hack that I want to give you is that you can add super glue to the double uni knot after you cinch it down. That's great because it increases the strength of the knot, and also it glues down the tag ends. So you really get those tag ends out of the way, which is great if you're doing casting. So if you have a casting application, because if your leader is very long, then the double uni knot may have to go through the eyes of your rod when you're casting. And if you use super glue, you really get rid of those tag ends, which helps the knot to move much more smoothly through the eyes. Okay, so now that you know how to tie the double uni knot, let's talk about the best way to use it. Well, the most important application is when you're using braid as your main line. And as you probably know, braid has a high visibility in the water. So it's very easy to see underwater. And if you're fishing in clear water, or if you're trying to catch fish that get a lot of fishing pressure, they're going to notice your braid. So you need to use a leader that has lower visibility. And fluorocarbon is best for this, or monofilament. And then the double uni knot is an excellent choice to attach your braid to your leader, because it's relatively easy to tie, and it's one of the strongest knots to attach two lines to each other. And especially if you use it with the super glue hack, it works perfectly for casting applications as well. A second application for using the double uni knot is if you're using backing on your spinning reel. Some people like to use monofilament backing when they spool braid on their spinning reel, and the double uni knot is also great for attaching those two lines together. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful. If yes, smash that like button and subscribe, since we have a lot more content coming out in the next few weeks. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.